Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. Today my project was kind of a challenge that was given to me by someone I work with. She lives in a different state than I do, so I don't know how I'm going to get this to her, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Anyway, so she gave me a challenge, and it was, she likes pastel colors, blue, pinks, and purples, and not a lot of yellow. And she likes flowers, and she told me one other thing she likes, but obviously I focused on the flowers. As you can see, I'm collaging them all down. This that I'm collaging down now was a guide, I believe that's where it came from, was a guide for Bouchard Gardens. I think. Either that or one of the flower catalogs that we got in the mail, which we get every spring. That's not really Elmer's glue, that is matte medium that I had stuck in a glue bottle because I was annoyed with the container it was in. So I'm using matte medium to glue these down, and I don't make you watch me do all of them because this piece goes through so many transitions that the base collage elements are completely covered up by the end. The only residual effect is the texture. That, along with the fact that this video is very long, so I have edited it a little bit for speed and of course sped it up a lot. I think it's like 8 times fast or something. So I have that on there, and I've mixed, this is just kind of, it's called parchment, and I mixed it with a little bit of glazing medium so that it wouldn't cover it up completely, and I'm wiping it back with the baby wipe to try to keep the background showing but not have it be so bright. And yeah, another exercise in futility. Because, like I said, it does get completely covered. Alright, I think I'm going to skip to the next part. There we go. So, now I'm just making some marks with a pencil. It's a water-soluble graphite pencil. And just to make marks, just for the heck of it. And I've mixed up a light purple color, and I'm just stenciling that, and then just to create some interest in the background. Not really positive where I was going at this point, just wanted some color in the background. And these colors are not colors I use a lot. I mean, I use them, but I always have a lot of contrast. And when I got finished, you know, I had told my sister, who I live with, that it was a pastel challenge, and I'm not a pastel person. And I showed her the finished piece, and she's like, "That's not pastel." It's the right colors, but it's not pastel. You'll see in the end, and you can always fast forward. You know, you don't have to listen to me jabber on. This is a little bit darker purple and a little bit different stencil just to get some more interest going. And I felt like that purple was just too light. And this, you know what? I hate to say it, but this all gets covered up too. I should probably speed through this a little faster. Because this doesn't remain in the end at all. No, it doesn't. I had to go look, I had to look at my piece. And this is a really big piece, so it doesn't exactly fit on my little table that I do art on. So you're only seeing a section of it. I should measure it and let you know what size that is. Sorry, you could hear a child crying in the background. He's happy now. He is my nephew's little boy, and he's hit 2 years old last week. He's in the terrible twos. Anyways, it's a 16 by 20 canvas, and now I'm adding some blue because I want to, and thought it would help make the whole thing more interesting. Alright, I think I'm just about done stenciling, and now I'm going to sketch out some flowers. And this part does stay, the flowers. They'll get more and more defined as the process goes on. And I'm really just trying to make them scribbly. I really I have a hard time doing things to order. You know, they say flowers, I'm like, oh, I love the scribbly, abstract-y sort of flowers, and I don't know how this person feels about abstracts. So, yeah, I wasn't sure how well this would go over, but I did tell her she didn't have to have it. If she doesn't like the finished piece, it's okay. I had all the paint on hand and the canvas on hand. It's not like I spent any money currently. Not like I spend a ton of money. But she would have to pay if I had to ship it to her. So there you go. If anybody has any good ideas on how to transport things less expensively than maybe the post office, which I priced this before I started, and it was like over 40 bucks. And I think I could pay less than that in gas and drive it to her house and drive back. The cost would be a hotel night. Because I couldn't do it, well, if I was really good, I could do it in a 24-hour period. Because it's not that far. I mean, it's far. But it's the neighboring state, right? So, anyway, enough about that. So I'm trying to get some pink and pastel pinks and some dark pinks. You have to have darker to create the shading, right? So there was just no way for me to not get the bright going on. I do go back and add white frequently to the different flowers to create some highlights. And I get these flowers done, and I actually quite like them. So, but I didn't like the background. So it changes a lot, and multiple times. It goes through 3, maybe 4 different background changes. And sorry, I thought I edited out all the stuff where I wasn't painting on screen. I'm so sorry. Like I said, this piece is way too big for it to fit on my table and under the camera. Of course, now I'm adding foliage, some leaves and just some green. And these aren't real flowers, they're just, you know, a basic flower shape out of my head. Nothing specific. So just added a little bit of pink to that yellow just to create a little shading on the little centers. And then here I go. This is my first thing. This is kind of a off-white that I'm just going around everything, kind of covering up the background a little bit, but making it sheer enough that I can still see it. And going around everything can be a little tedious, so I'll jump forward, I think. The video's getting shorter and shorter all the time. Alright, so I decided I needed something up there, so in that big blank space. So I decided to add another pink flower. And just by seeing the paint go over that, you can tell how textured that surface is. I like painting where the paint mixes on the canvas while you're doing it. It just kind of makes fun and interesting marks. So I think at this point I decided I just really don't like the background, and I cover it all completely with another layer of this sort of, I don't even know what colors I mixed together. I think there might have been a little purple in there, but it's really quite a gray mixture. And yeah, I give it another coat. So yeah, I gave it one more coat, and now I've got to pull some of that green over the top. I feel like the background is kind of coming forward a little bit, and I need to bring some other things to the front. So I just go around some of the foliage and just add a little bit more green. Oh, and here I had a little interruption. That was one of my nephew's boys. He likes to come and art with me, and he tells his opinions like it is. He is very decided what he likes and what he doesn't like. Oh, alright, so we have another incarnation of the background. So this is a little bit of purple mixed with that grayish color, which was already purple. I added a little bit of heavy gesso with it just to give it some more body. I decided you could see the collage texture behind, and it didn't make sense because it's kind of in blocks. So I figured this texture would be better. So I'm just going around and adding it everywhere. Just using a stiff filbert just to create that brushy sort of look. But this will still not be the final background. So I did edit it. I rotated it. Sorry it jumps a bit. But I think before that other paint is even dry, I have reverted to a lighter color for the background, and I change it one more time, and yet again, this is not the final background. I know, it's crazy. You would think I would get tired of painting in between all those flowers. So now I'm just adding a little bit of pink back in and some darker. I think I might have missed a little bit. I did add a little black and shading in the flowers a little bit. Now I've decided, since I lost all that collage, I need to put some collage elements back in. But these ones are going to be more neutral. So I've got sheet music and some Tim Holtz tissue and stuff like that. We're going to get that collage done here, and I'm just using, this is actually gloss gel medium. I think it's Donna Downey. Just add a little bit of something interesting. I decided I kind of liked it as the highlights on the leaves. Or the stem in this case. And then this is the Tim Holtz tissue. It's more transparent. I figured it wouldn't stand out quite as much, and I'm just going over some areas in the background with it. Once I get that done, I decide to take, I'm trying to remember which pencil that is. I think it's called an ivory pencil, and I'm just using it to do some scribbly outlines around my flowers, just to make it more interesting, give them more definition, bring them back to the front, if that makes sense. Because I'd done so many backgrounds, it felt like they were all disappearing. You know, and looking at this, okay, so I do this technique. This is like a Seth After technique where you put paint down and then you press it on just to give it like a little bit of a background. And looking back, I kind of like it right here. It's like stop. You know, it's a bit light, but I still liked it. I thought maybe if I stained the background with this is burnt umber and some glazing medium. that it would give it a little bit more vintagey sort of look. And I do kind of like that too. But I just... this again is not the end of the background drama. Yeah, looking back, I kind of like this, but I don't know. I kind of like how it ends up in the end. Okay, so here you can see it's quite brown and grungy. I do go over it a little bit with some more white. I actually highlight the flowers a little bit more, but just lightened up that background. And I lived with that for a few days, maybe a week. I told my friend I would do it in a weekend and show her the next Monday. I think she thought I was crazy saying I'd do it in a weekend. So she didn't ask me about it for a whole week. Which is a good thing, because I sat with this background for quite a while, thinking I would just paint over the whole thing. But I was liking my flowers, you know? So... oh, here it is, I think. So that is gloss gel medium, a little bit of gesso, and some cerulean blue. And to begin with, I think I just decided I wanted to just do a light coating of blue, just thin, not too overwhelming. And that becomes the first layer. Needless to say, I go back and it's blue. It gets covered blue. And there's footage that I don't have to show you. I decided those flowers needed somewhere to live. And so I created a dimensional lattice background. You'll see it in the pictures at the end. That they're raised. I put some artist tape down and some thick medium down, and then I painted them afterwards. But I had done so many things to this. I didn't think I was going to show this. Even doing this voiceover, I don't know if it will actually go public, but I might have it out there so the person I'm giving this to can see all the transformations. Maybe she shouldn't see it, because maybe she would have liked it, a few stages ago better than now. Anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to tell you that in advance before we get to the end. But it does end up being more of a solid blue, all that collaging. The only parts that show are the leaves, because I really liked those. I did end up covering the Tim Holtz stuff with the blue paint. You already can't see it, I think. But when you see the finished piece, give me your opinion. Which stage did you like it at? And is the one that I have pictures of at the end the best choice? Or should I have stopped much sooner? Let me know. And I want to thank you all. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate whenever you hit that like button, share. If you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. And thank you all for watching.